The following is a fan-based discussion. All properties discussed are property of Toei Inc., Bandai, Hasbro, and Subaru Productions. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Tokucast Reviews, episode number 139.
Yes.
Kamen Rider Revice.
Yes.
The one that has just ended.
As of last week, I was recording this video, because when this comes out, it'll be the first episode of Gates. Gates. A lot of G's going around, a lot of similar Namor, the underwater person.
The Submariner.
Who will be
in Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
The fuck is this?
Hey!
Hi, Matt.
You
guys knew I was coming back, right?
Maybe.
We assumed that you would disappear forever.
The fuck? I moved. That's not the same.
Well.
Hi, everybody.
Matt's back.
Matt's here.
That's the important thing.
Yes.
Bunch of assholes.
Back for Revice.
I'm absolutely back for Revice. I have a lot to say.
Good.
We have words.
We have
and we
lots
want
of words.
to say them.
Miss y'all, everybody.
Yes.
So, Matt, fill the people in on what you've been doing.
I moved. It's about a half hour away from here, so that's one of the reasons why. I've been going to the doctor to focus on just making myself healthier.
There you go.
I apologize for how I announced how I was leaving and if I was dying. I'm not. And I never put a comment on that video.
Requiescat in
You
pace.
you and my wife were like, you make it sound like you're dying.
Yeah, you died that day.
I died that day. Like Ray.
It's a ghost.
Anyway.
But yeah, Revice.
So, all of our reviews are, as usual, spoiler reviews, but because this show just ended, again, spoiler warning.
Absolute spoiler warning.
Spoiler warning, because this is a show that just ended. If you do have interest in finishing it, please do so before you come back and watch this.
Yes.
Or if you don't care about spoilers, please, by all means, watch ahead.
Either way, we'll wait a second. Alright, anyway.
Since it is a show that just ended, we're going to do this in a good, bad, terrible, bad, because most people ended up watching this, you know, as it went along for the past year.
Yeah.
So we're going to do good, bad, terrible, bad. But we're going to start where we always do.
The opening.
The opening.
I like it.
I really like this
Yeah,
song.
I like the opening. Jacob does not.
The visuals are a lie.
Here's how I feel about the opening. I don't think it's a terrible song.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a song that I would listen to outside of the show, that's for sure, but I don't think it's terrible. I do, however, I was thinking about this while I was watching it. Much like Be the One from Build, I think this is the completely wrong song for this show.
At times, yes, it is.
For the tone this show goes for, in the many different directions it takes as it goes along, I feel like this is the completely wrong song for it.
That's why I said the visuals were a lie.
Oh, the visuals are
The
absolutely...
visuals don't match it at all.
No. Well, no, I don't think the visuals don't match it. I don't think the visuals match the show.
That is also true.
Because, and I'll just say this now, apparently the director or the writer saw Ikki's actor and really liked the way that he was, because he's a lot like his character outside of the show. So a lot of the things that we saw in the actual opening, like him in the dark suit and everything, never happened because of changes because of what the actor was portraying. And so the writer was just like, I'm not going to go that direction. And I'm just like, why?
So, like, you're talking about, like, that shot of him standing in the rain against a bombed-out rubble.
Yeah.
Screaming to the heavens.
And then him, like, walking, looking like he's possessed in the black suit that he was wearing that legitimately never happened in show proper.
I was going to say, I don't even remember that in the song.
Yeah, it happens in the OP visual. And then
I was going to say, I don't remember seeing it. And I watched it a bunch of times.
But, yeah. Let's start with the good.
I like some of the characters.
Same.
I liked most of the family. Most.
Elaborate, please.
Yeah.
I like Ikki.
Okay, go on.
At times. I like Sakura.
Sakura was probably the best part of this.
Tell me what you liked about Ikki.
Yeah.
I liked Ikki because I kind of related to him in some way because I'm also kind of a busybody. I want to make sure I help people even if they don't want that help. So I guess I kind of connected to him on that level. Though it took me until it took me to like the 4th or 5th episode to realize he's the oldest of the 3.
Because he does seem sort of like either the middle or the youngest.
Exactly.
He has a very youthful energy, much more so than because if you compare him to his younger siblings, he's, they're all, essentially working adults. I mean, the youngest one is in high school, but she still has her karate and everything that she's practicing for. The other one works for Phoenix, and Iki is helping run the bathhouse.
Yeah.
And I will say that was one thing that I did really like, is I like that our lead writer is a working adult.
Yeah, and they sort of explain on that.
He's not in high school. He's not a teenager. It's nice to get a break from that.
He gave up his dream of playing soccer to help the family.
What is it with Kamen Riders and playing soccer?
To be fair, it's only been like 2 of them.
I know, but it's still 2.
It's too many.
It's also just, a big sport.
I'll tell you why it feels so familiar, because much like Wizard, it feels horribly underused here.
Also, it's been 10 years since Wizard.
It'll be 10 years, this year. 2012 is when it started.
They just released a video the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
granted, we didn't watch it in 2012, but that is when it came out.
We watched it.
Yeah, we watched it.
I didn't.
We watched it as it aired.
I was going to say, I watched it in like 2014, 15 or something like that.
We painfully had to wait a week between the 2 parts.
Yep.
The 2 parts.
Well, that's your own fault.
It is.
Anyway, I definitely like the family dynamic that they go for.
Yeah.
I love the mother.
The mom was great.
Mom was pretty great. Dad has his moments of good and bad.
I think sort of the biggest issue with the dad, though, is a lot of his backstory happens in the Veil specials.
Oh, yeah.
That happen outside of the show. That happened in the show.
I pretty much like everybody in the family except the middle child, which is a shocker.
Daiji was...
Daiji was...
We'll get to it.
We'll get to it.
I have a lot of issues with Yuki. And I think...
We'll get to it.
Yeah, I don't even think it's...
What else do you like?
I like some of the suits.
Which ones and go on, please.
The standard suit grew on me. I'm still not the biggest fan of the color scheme, but it grew on me. Hold on, I'm trying to...
Like a good thing or a tumor?
Like a good thing.
Oh, okay.
I liked how they incorporated...
Like coming into a room where someone's cooking garlic and you don't quite expect that strong aroma at first, but then you're like, oh, this is kind of nice.
I do like how they incorporated all the so many previous writers into the form without being so... What's the word? Knock you over the head with
obtrusive?
Like, you could watch the show without knowing who these writers are and not miss a thing. The super forms are definitely interesting.
I hate
that word interesting in a good way or bad way.
Depends on which super form we're talking about.
I am talking about the ones you think are good.
It's the Thunder Gale one that I hate.
Thunder Gale.
That's the purple one, right?
Purple and yellow, yeah.
Well, that's Volcano Rex. Thunder Gale was the one that was over the black suit. And it was just like, hey, every color. And you're just like, okay, but why the one with all the neon, the yellow, and the blue, and the purple?
Yep, I know the one.
I hate that suit. It's ugly.
Let's focus on the good for now.
It has a cool, though, fight scene, especially the one that when they team up with Daiji, and they're like, he paints all the elements in the air, and Daiji flies through them and attacks the bad guy. That was a very cool fight. I really enjoyed that.
I liked Kamen Rider Evil. His suit was pretty dope.
Evil? Oh yeah, Kagero.
I liked Kagero as a character better than I like Daiji.
Same. I'm going to talk about Sakura because she's probably the one that I had the most investment in.
That's fair.
Go on.
Up until her story ended, which was in the mid-20s. Because everything that she has with Hana
is more Hana's story than hers.
It's sort of a shared story.
A bit.
Because it starts with her story and then ends with Hana's. Because Hana, comes over to the side of good and all of that. But I really like their relationship.
The ugliest suit in the show.
I really like their relationship.
Which one?
the
that's what you think the ugliest
Queen
one is. Okay.
But yeah, I really liked how their relationship grew. Let's face it, we all thought lesbians.
I will admit, yeah.
I was a little bit upset with some other things that happened, but I don't know if this was some executive meddling that happened in the background with stuff that happened at the end. We'll talk about that when we get to the bad and Terabad. I love Sakura's suit.
Oh, yeah. Cobra.
Blue, yellow, and black. Even the upgraded version of it, I really like.
King Cobra was also dope.
Yeah, that was which operates off of Hana's Queen Bee. So I'm just like, come on, we need a V-Cinema. Let's do it. If we don't get to go full lesbians, I'm hating everything.
I will admit, one thing I'm glad they did, and I think the execution was okay, was, oh god, what's his name? The one who had to wear the sombrero.
Julio?
Yeah.
Who eventually became...
What was his name after, he wasn't...
Go Tamaki.
Just the fact that he wanted to help so bad and be a Kamen Rider so bad. And just how many times he was given the shaft until the third to last episode.
Yeah, and then he finally got it. And then he was beaten immediately.
No, he helped.
Juga also happened. We'll talk about that later.
Also, Kamen Rider, the demon suit looks amazing.
The spider one?
Yes.
Yeah, that is a great looking suit.
That's a fucking dope suit.
I also love that it legitimately really came out of nowhere. It was in no magazines or anything beforehand, and then it just shows up. And I'm just like...
The dad's suit at the end of the show was pretty good.
Oh, I liked his too.
The blue one.
Yeah. The stream.
So I was a fan of most of the aesthetics.
The same.
Vice grew on me, I will admit.
The character?
Yeah. There were times I didn't hate him. There were times I did.
Take the good where you can. There you go.
I'm glad they calmed down with the countdown bit for 20
It did
episodes.
just disappear, and I was a little sad about that, quite honestly. I really liked Hiromi, the first guy who used demons.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, great character. And his whole thing with his mother, because his mother passes away in his side thing with Dear Gaga. When they announced it, I was like, Lady Gaga's in this? What's happening? What is this crossover? But yeah, I really like his whole story. I really liked his characterization. He has some weird thing with George at the end of the story.
Yeah, they become real friendly.
Be the V-Center. Come on, let's do it.
Not like that. I don't care how many times he says daddy, it's not like that.
Be gay, do crime.
Which is, let's face it, that's pretty much exactly what George did at the beginning of the story. A lot of crime.
And the end of it, too.
More crime. War crime.
One thing I'll say that for bad.
Do we have anything else good?
You'll notice I've kept quiet this whole time.
The actual song of the opening I really liked. That's another good for me.
I like how most of the belts are different.
Yeah, I do not like, however, how a lot of them are P. Bandai.
Really?
Yeah, Sakura's especially. That was... I don't know what they were doing with the belts on this show. That was a really, really odd thing they could have done. When they do some emotional bits, I really like Destream's fight against the red demon.
Which one?
The main red demon, the one who looks like Vice but isn't.
Oh. Veil.
Crimson Veil. Yeah. I like that one. Thought that was a good one.
It would be remiss of me if I didn't mention at least a few things that I thought were good. You try to look for the positive in everything. I do think the acting is pretty good, especially Icky.
Mm-hmm.
I think they got a really good actor to play that character. Great performance throughout the show. I think he's got really good range. I think overall, everyone is well cast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say this. There's only one thing I thought wasn't casted great, and this is nothing anybody could have done. It's just something I noticed. Iki is supposed to be their son, but he's taller than every single one of them by a foot. Minimum.
Have you met my parents?
No.
Because that's the case with me.
Got it.
I'm not taller by a foot, but I am the tallest one in my family. At least my immediate family.
I understand that, but it's kind of comical.
It happens.
Sorry, it looks like you're about to say something.
I got nothing. I just want to move on to the bad at this point.
Do you have any other good to say?
I like the final form suit.
Yeah. Ooh. I really like how that mirrored
Do
each
not.
other.
Took a minute to grow on me. It looks like they just vomited color all over it.
Well, there isn't a lot of color except for the main ones, except they're like desaturated.
For the final form?
Yeah.
For the other forms, they're desaturated.
Yeah, in comparison to Iki and Rice's...
The final form is essentially the first form, but with more bits on it, and the colors actually are there.
Yeah. It looks a little bit more desaturated, it's just not everything's as neon. But I honestly like it.
It looks more like they just vomited more blue on it.
Which I think honestly helped.
Like I said, it grew on me. It's just not what I was expecting.
That power set, too, was very cool. Really wish they could have gone more, but that could have just been budgetary.
This power set is what exactly?
It's like weird time-space dilation stuff. And
Is that what it is?
yeah,
Is that what you call it?
Because the fucking show didn't call it anything.
Because the show just called it, he's more powerful now.
And they can make the infinity symbol when they punch each other.
And portals.
And portals.
Yeah, I got nothing.
I will admit, I like the concept of... I think they really did well with this concept of the main writer is two writers, technically.
Yeah.
Well, W was the 2-in-1 Kamen Rider. Now we have the 2-for-1 Kamen Rider.
Especially since the ultimate form, instead of Vice getting a form based off what Iki's doing, he gets his own belt. Which is kind of cool. They do the same fucking poses. So I thought that was nice. I definitely bought their relationship.
Yeah.
Okay, glad you did.
This also is Sakura and Love Chen as well.
That one I bought a little bit more, but at the same time, and I think this sort of actually all stems from Kagero being there for as short a time as he was.
Mm-hmm.
Bad.
Shall we move on?
Let's just combine the last two.
We usually do.
Yeah,
we usually
do.
Let's just do it anyway.
Very rarely have we ever split it up that much.
Let's start with the thing we hated the most.
How much time you got?
The one thing you hated the most.
One thing that I hated the most, alright, I'll say visually, this is one of the ugliest shows I have ever seen.
I can get that.
I'm not just talking suits, I'm talking everything. This whole show is butt ugly to look at for so much of the episodes. Every episode is just, the color timing is atrocious. Everything is so desaturated and bleak looking in a show that doesn't feel like that's the tone they're going for. It doesn't feel like it matches. None of the colors pop the way that I feel like they should. Scenes are either overlit or underlit, and it's just looking at this show gave me a headache. Just
it definitely needs more color.
So many scenes that take place in the same dimly lit gray interiors or dimly lit gray exteriors,
or holy shit lit white interiors,
or everything. It's again, it's either overlit or it's underlit. It feels like a poorly lit stage show.
Speaking of stage shows, Boo, the big guy who was like helping Genta throughout most of this, wasn't there because of a stage show for a lot of the time. So I'm just like, I feel like we're supposed to care about this character, but I don't because he's not here.
Well, his entire purpose was to be.
He was familiar with the dad's past, and he was like there to keep an eye on him in case anything happened again,
and to make sure it never came up. But when it came up,
he was just like, "Yep, you kids are related to a demon thingy.
My purpose.
Bye."
His entire character was tied to another.
I'm off to go wash.
Another character.
I'm off to go wash my other Hawaiian shirt.
Oh,
I do like the
hold
beginning.
on, before we go any further, there is one other good thing I really want to talk about.
I was going to say I have another good thing too.
So we'll go back to the good really quickly.
Oh, of course, we always do.
Kamen Rider Veil's introduction was,
with the dad.
Yeah. With the dad just coming up out of nowhere
and
with
beating the shit out of everybody.
Especially the monster. The monster just got destroyed.
Oh, also that one time what was it? The Olteca turned Julio into a monster and regretted it immediately.
The immediate regret on his face when Julio just basically cut him in half. I'm just like, well.
Because you pissed him the fuck off.
Well, what have we learned?
Everybody makes mistakes.
There is some brutal fucking moments in fights. If you want to talk about brutal, the death of the, I guess, main general.
Olteca?
No.
Oh.
When fucking I forgot
The
brother's
chameleon.
name. I forgot what the brother's name was.
Daiji?
When Daiji was like on the bad guy side and he's leaning his hand up like, help me my son, and he reaches his hand out, cocks his gun and executes him. Puts the gun to his forehead.
And who is this?
The guy who was the leader of Phoenix.
Okay.
The bad leader of Phoenix.
As opposed to the good one?
Yeah. The guy with the gloves.
Hideo.
I know.
Who was probably...
I knew who you were talking about, but I couldn't remember his name.
Who was probably... Honestly, he's the only thing that really made that severely long stretch of episodes bearable. Because that man overacted. And I sort of lived.
I shall disagree.
Because it seemed like he was trying to go for that same energy as the CEO from O's, but was nowhere near that. Because I kind of hated him.
Oh no, he was terrible. But I love the fact that his actor just, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to go in and do it. And I really do like that level of commitment to just do whatever.
Anyway.
Almost all I can think about with that character, the episode where he's like giving a speech and to like the 10 employees, he's giving a speech to the whole company and there's like 10 people there. And he's like loudly proclaiming about, don't you see, we the monsters and everything and da 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 da. And I'm like, who are you talking to?
I thought
because there's no equipment there.
I thought you were talking to the one where he got like assassinated, but he kept speaking to the.
That
microphone.
Is the one I'm talking about.
Oh, well, he had a microphone there.
No, but. Who is he talking to?
There
weren't. There were no cameras there.
Yes, there were.
No, there weren't.
Yeah,
there weren't.
Hold on. I say this because of the fact that you actually saw him on screens around the city. There had to have been cameras there.
No, there weren't. They never cut away. They never cut away to cameras.
Yeah, they did.
No, they don't.
The cameras never show up on screen.
No, they don't. They don't cut away. They never cut away. He's just talking to nobody. And he's like, there's like 10... And it's an audience of 10 people.
Yeah, it's being broadcast. That's the main thing.
There's no one there to broadcast it. We don't see any drones. We don't see any cameras.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but he is also right. They do cut to other parts of the city, and he is on.
No, they don't. I don't remember them cutting to other things at all. Earlier in the episode, they do. Earlier in the episode where he's giving a different speech, they cut away to like different screens around the city, different teletrons and whatnot. But during this scene, no, they never cut away.
Well, we know it's being broadcast.
Because everybody had to see it.
Yep. Because I remember them cutting away. I remember because we talked about it for a good half hour after that. Not me and you, just me and people on screen.
Anyway. I still understand what you're saying. That entire scene was painful.
Oh, it was hilariously painful, though. That man overacted his ass off. It was so stupid. I lived. I love the stupidity sometimes.
This show, unlike Saber, there isn't anything in this that really made me angry. Yeah. I wasn't.
No, I was just like, that's how we all felt.
Except for him, he liked it. Some people like Saber, you know. So a lot of, we looking at the comments for the last review when we asked people to tell us what they thought about Revice. The responses were all pretty positive. People seem to like this show a lot, which hey, that's great. Glad you do.
I liked this show until like the last 10 episodes.
I liked the show until Sakura's story ended.
So halfway through.
There's nothing in this show that like really angered me. There's nothing in this that made me like furiously want to shut the TV off.
Like
and
no
just
one specific thing.
There are things, but like they come later. We'll get to them.
Yeah,
but like for the most part, especially for the first like half of the show, it's not that there was anything egregiously wrong. It was just the complete and utter absence of anything good.
And it also felt like after a little bit, like the reason I say Sakura's story because it felt like after that point nothing happened. it felt like we just spanned wheels for a good... Like, things were happening on the screen, but it never really felt like the story moved.
I was going to wait till you're done. This show, one of my biggest issues with it is it takes forever to get anywhere, and when it gets there, it breezes past it too fast.
Yeah.
It'll either build to something, and then that something will be nothing, or it'll build to something, and that something will just be a big warm fart.
You want to talk about nothing?
I would love to.
So old Tekka gets absorbed by Gif.
Yes.
We think that he is dead. We think that everybody who's ever been turned into a demon is dead.
Apparently not.
And then, nope. And this is the most infuriating thing, because I'm sitting here like, if you're going to show your characters dying, kill them. We don't need them.
Don't have them floating in a sphere in space.
Yeah, because
in GIF space.
It basically just nerfs it. It nerfs any impact that you had at that moment when we thought that he died. Why are you back?
This whole show feels kind of toothless.
It does.
Well, I'll say it has a couple teeth because it did kill off the two parents from Weekend.
It did.
They'd stayed
I
dead.
felt nothing.
I felt nothing.
I felt
either.
absolutely
I didn't say
nothing.
it felt anything, but they stayed dead. That's
It
all I'm
doesn't.
saying.
If I don't feel anything, what difference does it make? You may as well have shot a pillow.
And apparently the lady who was like the doctor
Oh,
who got
yeah.
captured, and Patron Sango, because she was in this show.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, she was the lady who betrayed them. Who betrayed Ultraman Victory. Because that was him. That was...
And then she died.
Yeah.
But again, I just didn't care.
I cared about the science girl.
I didn't. I couldn't care. Because her story was so wrapped up in Daiji. And I hated
Fair.
him.
That is also fair.
The further this show went along, the less my enjoyment was.
The further it went along, the more I just got mad.
Yeah, I got frustrated.
The first half, again, it was just like, it just wasn't good. And then eventually it was just like, why do you keep making stupid decisions?
The only thing I would say was remotely good about Daiji was when Kagero first showed up. Because something was happening that was slightly interesting about him. Because not only was he, being a bad guy, it was, he was conflicting with his jealousy towards his brother.
I did not like the inconsistency of what the demons look like.
That's fair.
One of the Vale and Vice look the same, but then Sakura gets a stuffed animal.
And Kagero looks just...
And Kagero is just Daiji, but sexier.
It's fair.
It's fair.
Because this is the evil version, and evil is sexy.
Yeah, he's the emo version.
Yeah.
That too.
And then it's just...
No, I picked that up too.
I killed Kagero, but I need him. And
so he's back!
Okay. That's another thing I want to bring up is I think the show has some good ideas.
It has good ideas.
But they're all executed terribly.
Yeah.
You want to know what's funny that you say that? So...
Well, sure, I'd love to. What do you have?
Dawn Brothers with Gold.
Okay.
He has his old evil side with the Tora version, the Tiger one.
Mm.
And he basically sums up Daiji's entire plot in like half an episode. Because they end up splitting at one point. And he's like, oh, I think I need you to really work on the things that I have, wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're good. Daiji's whole thing is spread so far after he kills Kagero.
And at the end, they ruin a perfectly good suit.
Oh, with the combination one?
The perfect wing looks awful. Why does it have a cape?
I hate every suit in this show. I hate every suit.
Holy Wing
with the exception of the final form, which I think should have been his base form.
I get that.
That final form should have been the base form.
Holy Wing is actually one of my favorite suits from Kamen Rider, period.
I do like that suit too. I'm not a big fan of the teal undersuit.
That's fair. I also just like the fact that it's just Kamen Rider gun.
It is gun. It is truly sword, shield, and gun.
But
a lot of these suits are very ugly, though.
Especially live. Hated that
one. Okay.
I don't like any of them. I don't like any of the henshin sequences. They're all too noisy. They take too long. They're visually a mess.
I kind of get that, yeah.
Okay.
Care bad?
Well, it's all in one thing.
Right.
But what is it you would like to bring up, Marcus?
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
The Daiji's turn to evil, quote unquote.
Is that where we're getting, Marcus? Or is that where we'd like to start next? Because his turn to the dark side is one of the... It's not as bad as the one in Saber.
No, it's worse. Because as I explained in the review, the Saber one makes sense because they're indoctrinated.
It made sense to you, but go ahead.
Those guys were indoctrinated into an organization. From an outside perspective, yes, it looks stupid because we know that they're actually evil. But in this one, he knows the guy is evil. He just thinks, oh, this is the only way for us to survive.
If we give up, we can survive. He's freaking Relena. He's Relena from Gundam Wing. As I said earlier, what about
peace? He was talking to me about this off camera.
What about peace? But always. But we had to give up first. That's how we went.
Have we tried surrendering?
And Dai is just like, I want to fight my brother because
I want to fight my brother, and I want to be better than my brother, and I'm...
And Sakura is just like, I'm going to be here too, and stop fighting, you guys.
Daiji is such a whiny little brat.
I hate it.
Also, who in the fucking costume department thought that hairstyle was a good idea?
Which one?
Daiji. Just his go-to. Middle part. Because he's supposed to be the... I guess the mature one
of the three.
Yeah, no one's buying it.
No, that's why you're in the middle. Stay there.
His haircut didn't bother me. It's fine.
He was just. It made so little sense.
He's a whiny little brat who seems desperate to prove himself.
Oh, I don't have copyright.
But the only way they seem to know how. The only way the writers seem to get him to know how to do that is for him to turn evil and be on the bad guy's side, and that arc goes on for so long. And this show ends about 6 different times, I feel.
It does.
Absolutely.
I feel like it's like, okay, we're going to get to the final battle, but there's still like 10 episodes left. And it was like, there's like, it's like a climactic battle, then a climactic battle, and another climactic battle.
How many times did the fucking leader of Phoenix die? Quote unquote. If you count as fake assassination,
2 or 3 times.
That's what I was getting at as well. It's like they wrap things up about 50 times. I'm exaggerating, of course, but it seems like they wrap up so many times before the actual resolution.
Remember how Evolto wanted emotions?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
He wants a family.
That came out of nowhere.
Family.
Get away from my precious son! When did that start?
Apparently he had a conversation with Vin Diesel off camera.
No shit.
Sir, do you have any acting advice? Family.
But that's not family.
Is
everything. F-I-E.
Who are you talking about again?
The fucking...
Akaishi.
The leader of Phoenix. Where he was starting to treat Daiji like his son.
Yeah, that was the thing that happened.
I was annoyed. I was incredibly annoyed. Because it reeked of Evolt, and I hated that when Evolt did it. So...
Toku needs to stop being yearly.
I don't agree. I think it just needs to not have this writer again. When this show ended, and the dude was talking on his Twitter about, I'm so happy the show is over. People were in the comments that were just like, yeah, maybe stick to novels and never do this again.
Toku needs to stop being yearly, in my opinion.
I wholeheartedly disagree because
that's fine. I'm not okay. Let me rephrase that. Any show, movie, book, video game, whatever, should be as long as it needs to be for the story that it's telling.
I'll agree with.
And in the case of Revice, this should not have been 50 episodes.
No,
you could have wrapped this up. This could have been like a clean 30, clean 40.
It should have been an Ultraman length. The modern Ultra length, like 26
Like
episodes.
22.
Yeah.
You could have done that and it still could have been garbage, but...
After Sakura's story, this show had nothing to do. Nothing.
You could argue it had nothing to do before her story either.
I would argue that, yeah. Well, I would argue it had things to do, but it always went... It was always just really stupid about the way it did them.
GIF especially. Ooh, we're going to build up this big bad throughout this entire story. He dies in episode 45. We still have 5 episodes left.
That I was kind of okay with.
I was not.
If
it didn't follow it up.
If they didn't completely botch it up, and here's what I mean. You know how in the last 5 episodes they actually start his like losing his memories,
mm-hmm.
actually becomes a thing. Why wasn't that a thing from the start? That needed to be a thing from the start.
I mean, it didn't come up until the soccer episode, which was like, what, 20-something?
But still, that's halfway through the show.
My point, yeah. It didn't...
This is something... Okay, so he's losing his memories because of his contract with Vice, and the only way that he can get them back is to kill Vice. He will lose his memories of his beloved friend, but he will get the memories back of everything else in his life. Okay, that's interesting. That's a cool story. That's a really good idea.
Yes.
They botch it so badly because they don't bring it up until episode 45 when he actually starts to, like...
forget his family.
When he starts to, like, forget his family, he forgets some childhood memories, and then they have the freaking George heel turn. I hated this so much.
We have not talked about this. Hold on, because we haven't talked about it.
Okay.
We haven't talked about George's dad, like, at all.
We haven't talked about George at all.
Which is also fair, but I think we had to sort of put them here.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I liked George at the beginning.
Yeah, he was sort of an ass, but he was
You really didn't know what side he was on.
Yeah, he was also sort of charming at the same time, so I didn't mind.
I didn't think he was, but...
The further we went along, and when his dad got introduced, his dad really nerfs his character.
Because
How so?
He was introduced as a character who loved Kamen Rider. And...
He was all about the science.
He was all about the science. He had other Kamen Rider belts on display. We never explore that with him. He gets to henshin into Kamen Rider demons at one point, and it's never mentioned that he's like, oh, I finally get to be a Kamen Rider. Which, that writes itself! No, they just forgot that character thing and turned it into just background decoration.
It's like, as soon as his dad showed up...
In the dumbest costume known to man.
Because he had a burn face, I mean...
Oh no, he got to spend some extra money on makeup.
But they basically end up doing the whole thing where George's character also shifts at this point to almost solely focusing on his dad. Now I understand his dad's been gone forever. But
presumed dead.
But
he went to his grave.
Yeah, but George had like the whole amoral scientist thing going on at the beginning. And that was honestly a fun thing for him.
The Agent of Chaos.
Yeah. He was fun. But then his dad comes in and all focus shifts to daddy.
Because he has to be better than daddy.
But they don't explore that really. And
they don't.
No, they don't.
Then he starts going, oh, I feel so bad because Papa treated me like this and stuff. And like, I get that.
But we see in all the flashbacks he was a good father.
Yeah. But
he was there.
Yeah. But
then he died.
But then he put his demon inside of his kid. So that was a little fucked up.
But the demons are apparently...
Oh my god, I just remembered something.
Died.
Go ahead.
I remembered something.
Go ahead.
The episode before he goes
crazy.
Ballistic for 2 episodes.
Before the heel turn?
Yeah, before the heel turn.
The heel turn that made no sense.
There's a scene where he's holding the driver and there's like a shadow behind him that looks like a demon and it's never mentioned again.
Okay, I do have to bring this up because the movie's not out.
Oh, okay.
That whole thing was sort of set up for the movie. And
that's really dumb.
Sort of a problem with the movie coming.
Because it's like, oh yay, because that's the episode where they kill Gif, and the end of the it's like, all right, everything's happy, we save the day, la 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 la, everything's happy, and then we cut to that corridor filled with bodies, of just like unconscious bodies that he apparently beat up, and we see him holding the driver, and he's like, yeah, and that was the moment that I flipped over a table. That was like the flip over a table moment for me.
Absolutely.
That heel turn comes out of nowhere. It doesnn't make any sense character-wise. And it's there to pad out the story and there for the memories arc. It feels so shoehorned in to get from point A to B. It's like, crap, we wanted to build a bridge, but we forgot the bridge. So let's put this in here.
The only good thing I would give it is that George's actor can do crazy eyes really fucking well.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, his actor is quite good.
So can a lot of people.
But
toddlers can do, too.
Yeah, that's just them.
Doesn't make them good actors.
But I honestly really like George, just as an actor.
Oh, as an actor?
He was so...
He did good enough with what bullshit he was given.
He sold it.
I hated the suit, though.
I didn't like how the character was written. The character felt like it was written by someone who, this is what crazy scientists act like. I've seen how crazy scientists act in other movies and shows, so that's how I'm going to write this one. That's how the character felt to me.
That's fair.
I enjoyed him.
I literally texted Marcus the other day. It's like, I'm in the last 3 episodes of Revice. What the fuck is happening?
It's like, good question.
Because I got to the whole, I must kill all Kamen Riders bit. I'm like, what?
Because I have.
Well, don't you understand? We made this driver, not the demons. Therefore, it is ours. And because it is ours, then we can achieve peace. That doesn't make any sense.
But I have to be better than Daddy.
Why?
And Daddy made all of these other ones, but I have to prove that I am better than Daddy.
Okay, this doesn't make any freaking sense because his dad already told him to his face that you have already surpassed me.
And then he died.
That happens in show.
I know.
Your dad has already said to your face, you have surpassed me. Why are you trying to still be better if he already told you yes?
And then he died.
This is terrible writing.
You mentioned it, and I want to bring back...
Also, what did he die of?
He died of the plot.
Yeah, but to say, no, he died of plot. He literally was like, he was fine for 20 episodes, and then I'm dying.
And then it's like tragic character and show disease, and now I'm dead.
Didn't he try to transform and it backfired?
No.
I don't think so, no.
I don't really recall. The ending of Revice is... we had to go back, because you mentioned Iki's memories thing.
Oh, yeah.
Shall we?
This is the thing. I did not care about Iki, and I will be the first person to say that. The further this show went along, after Sakura's story, I couldn't care about this family. Something about it, like, they never grabbed me. The dad was really in and out. The mom was good, but even still, she's not really, super main focus.
No, but she was literally the glue that held that family together.
Yeah, was she?
But
That's not the vibe I got.
I did not give a damn about Iki. I did not give a damn about Daiji. I did not give a damn about the dad. And Sakura, after her story ended, I didn't give a damn about her either. The mom was just like, I'm here, and I'm just like, okay.
The one person who's not fighting.
Yeah, but everybody else, and like you said, with Iki's memories not ever really coming up in show before, like they didn't jump on the point of when he started disappearing from the photos, like his memories were affecting the real world.
Which also made no sense.
Yeah.
Because they're clearly not, because everyone else still remembers who he is.
I understand it's just a visual metaphor.
Yeah, that's an odd point. Yeah, and it is. Like, everybody else still remembers.
Because when the picture disappears in Back to the Future, Marty McFly is also fading away.
Because he's ceasing to exist.
Yeah, he's ceasing to exist, but so are the things in the picture, so it's affecting the real world as well as we actually see it being manifested, what's happening in the frame. This is like, I forgot something, but then everyone else remembers the things.
So he's not in the photo. I don't understand when you're missing the logic of this.
But everyone else remembers who he is.
I know, I'm being sarcastic. It's ridiculously stupid.
Speaking of ridiculously stupid, I hated Vice. And I also hated the fact that his voice actor, the racist, got wanked so hard in the 2-episode soccer thing. Because he was...
The guy who plays, like, the...
I know the racist bit.
No, the guy who plays the voice actor in that episode... Mm-hmm. The guy with, like, he's like the taller tan guy with, like, short dark hair. That's the guy who plays Vice. Oh. He appears in show as that as a different character.
And they wank him off something fierce in those two. He's so good. He's great. Oh my god.
Yeah, he was superstar high school man. Now he's a super famous voice actor. Gee.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Okay. It shows up again.
Because you had him, and then you had like the other guy who was trying to be a voice actor.
And then they try to insert so much emotion during Iki and Vice's fight at the end of the show.
And they do it by transforming into every suit.
Which is cool.
I hate that. I hate when that happens.
At the point where they did it at the point where they weren't really just fighting. They were
reliving memories.
They were playing.
Yeah.
So it made sense with that. I still hated the fucking hovercraft.
I was fine with it. I hated the fact that everybody else was there. We're crying. Boo, you have met him 5 times. Spada from Q Ranger, you were there for an episode. Along with Beat Buster in the same episode. I'm just like, I understand that you have
Which
all these
episode
characters.
was that?
It was the last one. Oh, you're talking about the episode? They were
that they were in, yeah.
They were doing that, hey, it's me thing over the phone. They were like getting money from people. And they also had that was when he got the Brachio stamp. Mm. But yeah,
so it's kind of a blur.
I didn't care. I didn't give a damn. I didn't give one hot fuck throughout the end of this episode.
Not even a cold one?
No, I got the more this show went along, the less I cared. I didn't care about anybody. And that's actually saying something. Because that's also exactly how I felt about Saber. But I felt differently about Saber because I was disappointed all the time. This part, I was only disappointed during the last half.
Which almost can make you feel worse. Because
I know.
It gives you a false sense of hope.
I really don't like being negative.
I do.
I really don't. I want to like things. I want all things to be good. I want all Toku to be good. But my God, does Kamen Rider need to step its game up?
I'm hoping it does it during, the season that starts today. So we'll see what happens there. But it's like
Hope springs eternal.
All of my interests over the past, I guess, year and a half at this point is just been Zenkaiger, Dumb Brothers, because it's been fun throughout watching both of those shows back to back. Yeah, it's just the last two writers have just been disappointment after disappointment.
It's
really
the I struggle to think like what was the last Kamen Rider I would actually recommend to anybody.
That's easy for me, Marcus.
It's X8.
I would say 0-1.
X8 for me is the last one that I would actually I was thinking about like X8 is probably the only one I would actually consider great. The rest, not that all of them are bad, but that's the only one that I would say gets to that level of great.
Where you had a level of emotional investment throughout the entire thing, and this time it's just like we haven't reached that level again.
And it's been a long time since we reviewed X8, and I've seen many shows since that I've really liked, some I really haven't, and it bums me out when we have to review bad shows. I don't like it. I like reviewing good stuff.
Yeah, even in the last couple of years of just doing the last couple of Sentai, it's like there's only one that we're just like
Soldier.
Yeah, we're just like no, thank you. But for the other ones, really, it's like loop back.
But even that, I mean, we just reviewed the Ultra. We just reviewed. That was a lot of fun. Kamen Rider 71 was a lot of fun. Go Ranger, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
because explosions and disguise.
She said disguises. It's just like Revice. Oh no, thank you. Just no. I understand that people like it, and I'm like people sort of got invested in like I guess sort of the emotional aspect of it, but it took one too long to get there, and two, everything else that happens around the emotional stuff, I couldn't care anything about, and that definitely hurt my enjoyment of this show, which is sad because I was, a lot more positive at the beginning, but time goes on and so does this show, and that was unfortunate.
But it's over now. We can move on to other things.
I'm glad I fell behind so I could just
binge it.
Yeah, that's what I did. I binged. I think half of the show, the latter half of the show, like
Same.
last Saturday. I watched like the entire thing.
It's probably
almost the entire thing.
Best way to do it because doing this on a week-to-week basis was not the move. But we have 01's writer coming back for this next one. And X8's writer because it's the same guy. So and I'm hoping, no pandemic shenanigans.
I was going to say that 01 was definitely hampered by forces beyond its control.
Yeah.
So
was the world.
And I really like X8, so
we'll see what happens here. We already have a different style of main writer.
We got a first impressions coming up in a few weeks.
Which I will be in that video as well. Do not start without me.
We will do our best.
Yeah, and then after that, Jacob and I will be doing Go Ranger. We'll have to decide what we do after that, but we're actually going to end up catching up to 5 Men at some point, because that'll be the last Sentai we have to do. And the last writer we have to do is Super One. But yeah, join us for episode 140 for Go Ranger, and join us in 3 weeks for our first impressions of... I'm going to say it wrong.
Kamen Rider Geats.
Yeah. Don't forget to let us know what you think about Revice in the comments below. Don't forget to let us know what you think about Go Ranger.
And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching.